dollar from 30 plus. This mover is bringing money to the poor of filler and state. Look at the amount they just have recent. A lot of money being shared to the state. So for me, borrowing money, why can't you just go to that foreign reserve, take to below who, and use it for the service of 2024 budget instead of borrowing? When you borrow, you are going to pay some percentage as interest. So for me, if you want to borrow now, and it's compulsory as they have already passed yesterday, you can use the money for Iľa Road in Osun State because the contractor that was abandoned it.
Okay.
Where God was borrowing money, I think full second Niger Bridge, Lagos Ibadan Express was made it's a completion. So for me, if you are borrowing money, you must say the target one project you are going to use the money for. And again, if you borrow money to bring agriculture into the people, we are talking of hungry. We must go back to the land, mechanize the farming is the key. Use the money to feed Nigeria. We are feeling the pain. The pain we are feeling today, we want it to turn to gain. But the gain is not around yet. So, Mr. President, you have to listen to Nigeria. And again, we fought for you for just 4 years, not 7 years, not 8 years. Perform what you can do for this country. Good morning to you, my dearest Sandra.
Good morning to you as well. Thank you very much, Prince Wise. I appreciate your contribution this morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Sandra. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
John from Moba. Good morning, Faz. Yes, about this issue of borrowing, honestly, I'm tired of hearing about borrowing. Can't they think about what to do without borrowing money? Does it mean that next year budget now you are going to borrow money again for supplementary? Why is it that they have to borrow? Why are they not thinking about being productive for once? With agriculture. But corruption will not allow them. The easy way out, which they like to embrace is to borrow. We not try cut agenda how they want to spend the money or what they will tie the money to, just like Free and said. Why is it that they are not thinking? Is it governance? This is not governance. This is just people come and take out your hand, share, and go away. And then swallow away time. Till the end of time comes, the end of their dinner comes. If not, why are they not using their brain? Why are they not thinking? Look at Obasanjo, what he did by paying for our debt. So some people say that you should use that money to create to be productive, challenge to productive record, that any money realized on that productive record to be used to pay. Fine, but he has done something. But this one is not doing anything. You borrow, you live in a lifestyle. For plunging the people to try to get you are still borrowing again. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much. I appreciate your contribution. That is where we have found ourselves, unfortunately. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Sandra.
Yes, that's Mr. Kunle.
Yeah, Olakunle Bayade here.
You're welcome.
I couldn't help but laugh at what Atiku wrote. And I've noticed over time that Atiku continues to punch beyond his intellectual weight. Perhaps Mr. Atiku should only avail his thoughts on matters he has the requisite knowledge. Economy is not one of them. Nigeria's indebtedness is still within normal limits. At 42% external debt to total debt ratio, our foreign exposure is still within limits compared to other African nations. People can check it and confirm it if I am wrong. Secondly, the International Development Association, which is tied to the World Bank debt, and they are all the monies they give us are tied to projects and released in stages after the objectives of those things are meticulously checked and met. These are not usual debts for consumption. People need to understand banks have favorable terms compared to other loans Nigeria has taken. These are concessionary loans that have very low interest or even zero interest, and they give you long moratorium periods that you will not have to pay before you begin to pay. Some of these loans run for as long as 40 years. That is how to run an economy that is challenged like Nigeria. And the funniest one he talked about FRS and custom collecting so much money. And why is Nigeria still borrowing? God Almighty. That reflects poorly on a presidential candidate like him. Long-term debts are recognized as a standardized way of financing infrastructural development. and regardless of the revenue. I think he needs to do better. And please, people need to also understand that. Has there been any time Nigeria doesn't borrow? You continue to run a deficit budget. There's nowhere in the world, almost every country in the world borrows. But the question you ask yourself is, which kind of hole is Nigeria that is not been before? And the hole is there. You are running a debt there. You are chasing to get 30 trillion as income. You have a 47 trillion budget. You have a shortfall of 14 trillion. Where will Nigeria get money to run it? Even the last 1 year we are running, only what has been met out of the 7.8 trillion government promised they were going to do. They've only been for capital. They've only been able to do probably about 1.8. That's why they are going to borrow another 2.2 billion to be able to run it. There's no money anywhere. Nigeria is like a big man with an earns 200,000, but runs on what it runs on big manism, spending 500 naira a year. He goes out there to borrow 450 to run his life. Out of it, 150 is used to drink beer and do all of that. Now we have stopped the beer we are drinking with 150 million. Does that mean Nigeria has any saving? No, we are not saving any money. We are only carrying that money to put in places that will better Nigerians' life. So people like Atiku should go and rest. It is punching above his weight. Doesn't understand economics at all. Thank you very much.
Okay. I wanted to
go on. I'm listening to you.
Okay.
If you have a question,
I just wanted to engage you a bit. So do you think that borrowing should continue, and what exactly?
Borrowing must continue, madam.
Shouldn't we tie these borrowings to certain things? If we keep tying these things to deficits, that there's no infrastructural development, isn't that a cause for concern?
That's why we are saying that this loan, Nigeria collected $17.1 billion from World Bank as a country, and they are tied to specific loans. They are tied to development. World Bank will not give you any loan for consumption. No, they are specifically tied to development. And as I said, for the kind of budget we run as a country, it's deficit laden. We don't have money. We are a poor country, except we are just lying to ourselves. We are still running on 1.3.
All right. So we can give, other, I lost that one. So that we can give, other listeners, the opportunity to express themselves just as you have. Thank you very much, Mr. Olakunle. I'm just looking at the fact that, we're spending so much on debt servicing than we are on actual, infrastructure development. That's where I was going to with that particular, engagement there. All right. It's 9:07 and you're listening to Mainland 98.3 FM. This is Mainland Focus, and the conversation is around our very, very large appetite for borrowing. Hello, good morning.
Bola. Good morning.
Good morning.
We thank God for another day. My name is Ambrose.
You're welcome.
I thought World Bank has told the federal government that their policies are not friendly. So what are we borrowing money for? All this, justification for borrowing money. What effect has it made on the life of the average Nigerian, other than to buy presidential jets, to buy yachts, to renovate the vice president's house, and for the round tripping of Mr. President, and then the naira continue to crash? I entered the vehicle yesterday with somebody, and the person was telling me that 7,000 naira now to a safe house. There is nothing to rescue the naira. Do you know the interesting thing, Omobola? I've taken time to find out. The real actors in this government, they don't make commentaries. They are just chopping. People who make commentaries are just politically sentimental. Omobola, Nigeria is bleeding. They are borrowing. Okay, when Buhari was there, he was borrowing because he did not want the naira to fall. This man came from 185. We are buying fuel now for 1,002. This man came. The drug we are buying for 3,000 is now 25,000. This man came. Fuel dollar is 1,700 and something, and they are still borrowing. What are they using the money for? We are not seeing it. There is no justification whatsoever. And the Nigerian people that you say you are borrowing money for, they are suffering. How can you be borrowing money on behalf of people that are suffering? This government, as far as I'm concerned, they are just there to eat and to support their cronies and their allies and at the end of the day fight for 2027. That's all. They don't have anything good to offer.
Right.
After today, if they start doing well tomorrow, I will praise them and I will swallow my words. Good morning.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning. Thank you very much, Pastor, for sharing your thoughts. 10 minutes past 9. Let's take some messages. We are live now on Facebook, so you can drop your comments in the live chat section on both Facebook and YouTube. The handle to look out for is Milan 98.3 FM on both platforms. I have here on WhatsApp, Steve Ikelu from Maryland is saying Atiku's stance on the latest loan does not hold water because if he was there, he would have borrowed as well. Loan itself is not bad. But in the case of Nigeria, we don't know what these loans are used for, yet the rising debt profile continues to soar. The level of insecurity is high, dilapidated road networks everywhere, poor funding of education, high cost of PMS, transportation, and cost of food and services are unprecedented. I think corruption is at the height of all of this. It's a pity. God help this nation. And that's Steve Ikelu from Maryland sharing that one on WhatsApp. I also have here Owen from Lagos. These crop of politicians are all guilty when it comes to misappropriation and looting of public funds. The most frustrating part of it is that our National Assembly has failed to live up to expectations when it comes to scrutiny and oversight functions of government expenditures, policies and appointments. What a shame. And that's Owen from Lagos sharing that one. I also have here Benjamin from Shogunle. Why is our National Assembly not copying what other nations of the world assemblies are doing? Why can't they borrow a leaf from them? Why is our National Assembly always approving loan requests of the president without questioning and advising the president to look inward rather than borrowing and borrowing? That is putting Nigeria in more problem of hardship and hunger. Where is the money saved from subsidy gun policy? The National Assembly should know that they are not appointed by the president but elected by the people to speak for them. Anything short of that is amount to non-well represented. Benjamin from Shogunle sharing that one. I also have here Awolo from Shogunle is also saying the issue is what did the government achieve with the previous loans and what would it achieve with the current loan approved? The answer and my take can be deduced from the statement of a Greek philosopher, Democritus. He said, "The man enslaved to wealth can never be honest." We have entered one chance. Apology to Mr. Samuel from Ketu. I don't know what that's about, but thank you, Mr. Wolo Christopher from Shogunle, for sharing your thoughts there. Emmanuel from Ikeja, also still on WhatsApp, is saying with this new borrowed loan, that means each Nigeria is now owing more than the 600k that they said we owed. So Sandra, you're owing like 1 million. No. Even the Ogun State one said, if I removed myself, there was 1,000 naira bank charge. That's 1.1. See what we owe. And the Senate had the effrontery to award the renovation of the VP president's residence of 5 billion. We have wicked politicians, and that's Emmanuel from Ikeja sharing that one on WhatsApp. Also, we have here Mayor from Ikotu. Okay, not on focus. We also have here Kenneth from Ketu. A government that prioritizes politics and self-entitlement over good governance will surely fail. I'm deeply worried about the direction this current administration is taking Nigeria to. It does seem that the president was not prepared for the job. No direction, no focus, no commitment to solving any problem. And that's Kenneth from Ketu sharing that one. I also have here, still on WhatsApp, Sean from Festac. What pains me the most is the brazenness to support the borrowing. I think our government thinks we citizens are illiterate, so maybe we are not living in Nigeria. The era of social media has exposed a lot of Nigerians to a lot of secrets, and this has turned the focus of more of the people to the government spending and costs. Now, the question here is, where is the transparency of all the monies that have been borrowed? Where are all the Abacha loots being sent from the grave? What are the positive impacts of these borrowings? At the rate at which we are going, countries will be coming to carry citizens in ships to their country to labor so Nigeria can pay debts. This November, how many houses do you see putting out Christmas lights? Sean from Festac sharing that one on WhatsApp. Let's go back to the phone line, 0913-60410. Time check is 15 minutes past 9. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
My greeting to Mr. James from Agbade Junction. Then I want to prove you people wrong when you say that all the money that are borrowed so far, you have not seen what the money was used for. Now, can I tell you that most of the money borrowed by this current administration was used to purchase yacht, was used to purchase SUV for National Assembly, was used in building houses for judges and buying vehicles for judges as well, was used to renovate VP residence, and was as well used to run palliative government. Now you can see that the money has been effectively used. Now, you look at some people coming on air to roll out statistics to bamboozle the gullibles. They'll be telling you what everybody. Sandra, for your own end, how are you feeling about this whole situation? Is it that you have good road? Is it that you have electricity supply? Is it that, don't tell me one thing that has shown that they are borrowing money and they are owing money outside. Don't tell me, some people will still come and defend what is defenseless. That is why sometimes I begin to imagine, I don't really know, only God can tell, because there is a way you will talk on the radio, you seem as if you are deceiving some people, but that I will not take, I will not take that line. So, look at where we are today. What is the future holding for us? Many companies are folding as a result of the current situation of our economy. Many people are being relieved of their duty. They are becoming jobless, no means of livelihood for them. That is the situation. Good morning.
Good morning to you as well. Thank you. That is the situation. So what's the way out? I don't want to say anything. Yes, we'll keep borrowing. Thank you, Sandra. You're welcome. Okay.
It's appalling for anybody to defend this that we are experiencing now in Nigeria. When you say we have many ministries that have been giving KPI to produce, to bring money, and the directive is bring money or you leave my cabinet. That is what is happening in Nepal here. 2 times now they have increased my tariff. Last month, this month, the bill they are bringing to me, they increased 2005 from 6,005 to 10,000. They are just increasing it like that, and that is why Adelabu is retaining that ministry. Despite the aggressive period we are having with him. Then we have solid mineral resources being produced. They have special matter. What are being bringing to the table? We know that Osun State, Oyo State, and some other states are producing heavily gold and all that. They have bitumen and all that. What are they? And they have blue sea and many. If I continue to mention, aviation is there. So bringing money to the table. Let you continue to borrow. Why can't you have use what you have to get what you want, rather than plunging people into 40 years indebtedness? Your grandchildren will have to pay for it. Is it normal? Do we think at all? I don't know their qualification that they are saying that somebody doesn't know or doesn't know economy. What is your qualification? Are you PhD holder or professor?
Thank you,
what are they saying? If you are in politics and in politics, let me tell you, all that is
okay. It's okay.
Have any reckoning with the current and
I do not want to
past economy.
Cut you off. I would have to do what I have to do. All right. Thank you very much, Engineer Nee. I appreciate your contribution this morning. All right. So I get, we can get a little bit emotional about these things. Yes, this is a very, very sensitive one, especially when, a lot of people are going through a lot in this country at this time. But let's try to contain our emotions. 0913-6000-410. That is the number to call to share your thoughts this morning as regards the focus on the table. Mela 98.3 FM. Good morning.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Actually, I just want to contribute to the economic issues. You see, it is very important that in as much we know as a country and as a people that it's good to borrow money. But it's a bad thing when you borrow money and you cannot pay back. It's a mark on you, and when you borrow money, you'll be able to pay back. So it's an option thing. At this stage, it's bad that Nigeria at this level they could be able to after so many years we could not be able to kind of put back the money we have borrowed, and we cannot be able to pay it back, and we are still borrowing. And you see, the worst of this I'm looking at. I'm not looking at the present situation we are. You know, when day breaks a day, you are able to get access to one or two things to do, and you survive it that day. It's not the issue. But what about the future? You know that the future is at stake. For every step we take now, the future is at stake, either good or bad. That's where we, as in Nigeria, as a people, we are looking at. Now, if you have children everywhere and you are giving birth, too many, and these children, they are not well trained in a society, what do you have in the future? So that is where this government is treading to. And my sister, I will not like to let truth be told. The situation that the previous administration and this present administration are treading to, leading Nigerians to, they are leading us to divisions. I'm telling you, they are leading Nigerians to division, and it will not be better for the country. I would advise the government to go back to the oil. Let them put on the refinery. If you're having four refineries, you're able to fix one. You counterbalance well. You don't need IMF to come and dictate to you. You don't need UN to come and dictate to you. You don't need America to come and dictate to you. Now, can you compare Nigeria with Ghana today? Who is Ghana? Who is other countries? But today, they are all doing well than Nigeria. Right. They start somewhere. Please, government should look back. If corruption is the headway, fine. Let them keep on doing corruption, but let them fix the country.
Thank you.
There is no country that is not corrupt. We have China everywhere. Right. The government, they should go back and fix our refinery. If not, right, Nigeria is heading nowhere.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
All right, yes, we're back. I appreciate your contribution. Thank you very much. Apologies for that break there. This is still Milan 98.3 FM. It's 9:23, and we have quite a number of messages on Facebook. So let's just quickly dig deep into that. I have here Darlington Ogboy saying we need mechanized farming to solve Nigeria's problems, and that's Darlington Ogboy sharing his own thoughts there. I won't read the rest of the message. I also have here
this is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Okay, this can't be read, but thank you, Mr. Deji Jibol. I hope I got that correctly, for sharing your thoughts there. Mr. Kunle Kade is continued his submission on Facebook. Nigeria for now cannot have a balanced budget where your revenue equals expenditure. For now, your 2024 budget has 15 trillion naira debt repayment. We have a deficit of 14 trillion, which we do not have revenue to cover. There's no how the government will borrow. Our debt is still within the threshold compared to our GDP. Government must pay increased salary, gratuities, and pensions. That's why the tax bill will help to increase our revenues and relieve the poor of the burden. It's okay. All right. So this is a never-ending, by your submission, Mr. Olakunle, this is a never-ending situation that we have found ourselves, because we are already looking at a 13 trillion naira deficit in the 2025 proposed budget. All right, so that means that we're in a never-ending borrowing spree, and we're just going to continue just because our debt to GDP ratio can afford it. That's basically what I'm getting from that submission there. I also have Fred in Isua is saying, if you want APC support to love you, just lie to him. See how some people are defending the ridiculous borrowing. All the money saved from the removal of subsidy, yet it's okay. Thank you, Mr. Fred Isua. Well, I think you've taken. Yes, he has. Yes, thank you, Mr. Olakunle. You've already shared this via the phone line already. Okay, so we're still taking submissions on from Facebook and YouTube. The handle to look out for is Milan 98.3 FM. Let's go back to the phone line, and then we wrap things up with some more messages. Hello, good morning, Milan 98.3 FM.
Sandra, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Dr. I have been laughing since morning in some submissions of some people. that we should keep borrowing. Sandra,
I'm with you.
I called my vendor to supply me a bag of rice, and he brought in to my gate. When I want to make a transfer for him, he told me that a bag of rice is 112,000. And I try to, to psych the guy if he's joking or something like that. By the end of the day, that is just the reality of today. A bag of rice goes for 112,000, and I made the transfer to the guy, and that brought me to what we are talking about. The borrowing have not made any impact on the feeding of Nigeria. The borrowing have not made any impact on the infrastructure, road, housing, and the rest of other things. The borrowing have not made any impact on our exchange rate. The borrowing have not made any impact on the insecurity we are having in Nigeria. And we have abundance of the natural resources where we should make money and govern our people very well. And the government is not looking into that direction. The government have made so much money on stamp duty, VAT, subsidy is gone, policy, and all sorts of things. Where is the money? And they keep borrowing. And somebody will come here and tell me that a man who has a policy document to how to govern Nigeria, he is telling the man to shut up. But a man who do not have any direction should continue. You can imagine the irony of life. A people who have a watertight document on how to govern Nigeria, he should shut up. But a man who was unable to turn Nigeria in any form, he could not tell us how he wants to govern Nigeria. That the man should continue. A man that is telling us bala blue bra should continue. It's just a funny thing. A man who was unable to give us any economic or any policy of it at all how we should govern our people. He should continue in this direction of borrowing. Our people are going in misery, hunger, no direction, exchange rate, no direction. We should continue in this trajectory. But those who have things to offer should keep quiet. Sandra, are we going to make any headway with that kind of people? The answer is no. Nigeria, the ball is on your court. Okay? 2027, make sure you take these people out.
Last phone call that we can take for this morning. We have quite a number of messages here on WhatsApp. Wale Oguntoku from GRA Ikeja is saying, good morning. Nigeria will continue to borrow because of lack of proper planning. Nigeria's problem started with when the president declared on the day of his inauguration that subsidy is gone, without even seeing what's on ground, so as to know how to tackle the oil cabals in the industry. Everything got dislocated from that day, coupled with the effects of flotation of the naira. We are in this already, and Nigerians should just depreciate. Emmanuel from Agbara is saying, please make me understand how a child was blessed by his father, chose to go about begging instead of harnessing those blessings. By virtue, our God-given natural resources, other countries should be the ones borrowing from us and not the other way around. We have beggy people as leaders. Let them keep begging. When they are done, they should let Nigerians know. Good morning. And that is Emmanuel from Agbara. Debo from Owuro. What do you mean by borrowing spree? What do you mean by so much money being made from subsidy removal? Didn't you see the budget, or is it that you don't understand budgeting? Where do you expect the government to fund 9 trillion naira deficit from? The movement of the debt figures from 87 trillion to 130 and above is not as a result of new borrowing, but as a result of the devaluation, and that explains why it's lower in dollar terms. This government has been repaying internal and external loans since its inception. Please let those that understand how these things work explain to you so you don't critique ignorantly, please. Thank you, Debo, for critiquing very intelligently. I appreciate. I also have here, it's okay. All right. Andrew from Ayobo. Atiku's comment is key. Tinubu and his wife told Nigerians that they have money to run Nigeria and that in their regime, Nigeria will not be plunged into debt. Today, the situation is precarious and highly indebted. They borrowed to secure the 2027 election, not to solve economic woes. And that's Andrew from Ayobo. And that's a wrap for today on Mainland Focus. Thank you very much for staying with us. Apologies if we're not able to take your messages or your phone calls. The conversation continues by 4 p.m. with Okwemi Akion in the Situation Room and Said Fuhad on Sunday by 6 p.m. on Political Roundtable. My name is Omobola Sandra. Please stay tuned.